receive that signal. Life is weird, huh? One random event drags another with it, like links in a chain. And you are pulling that chain out of a deep, dark well. The links emerge from the dark water. And what link is in that bucket that's on the end of the chain? That's a mystery. That's what I often think about when facing a choice. You can't drop the chain either. You always have to drink from that bucket. Well, bottoms up, I suppose. So, how does it feel to be the Moses who yanked on this particular chain? Is it dumb to think about such things when all I ever did in life was carry out orders? Well, I'm not called idiot for nothing. Still, I would like to know what's on the end of your chain.
Look, if there's no radiation, that means we can bring everyone out of Moscow.
It doesn't matter if there's radiation or not, Comrade American. The citizens of Moscow will have to stay put.
American?
But why? We're just a short way from the city.
Oh, so he is.
Radiation's gone.
Things might have been that easy in your America, but life has never been so easy here. Even now, we woke up saviors of the metro, and by lunchtime, we're enemy spies, saboteurs, train thieves. And what for? Something we thought was true turned out to be a lie. And that is enough for them to want us dead.
The Hansa bosses must have known that we could live up here. But the public didn't know that. Who'd want to stay down in the metro if we told them?
We cannot tell them. If they are ready to make mincemeat out of old ladies and kids to keep their secret, what do you think would they do to you, Uncle Sam? Huh? We can't go back. We can't use radio. Remember the jammers? And even if you pull a perfect Rambo and break through back into the metro, do you expect they all just believe you and go, yes, Moses, lead us out of this Egypt? Can you even imagine the death toll? Take your average station workers. Even if the Hansa guards didn't shoot them, how far would they get? Right to the nearest mutant den, most likely. We are safe here, speeding along on this Eastern Express. They are not as lucky. Not at all.
What if there was a proper evacuation?
And who would do that? Hansa's people? The ones that kept us under lock and key for 20 years? Or us too? Besides, getting the people out of Moscow is not the end of it. You have to settle them somewhere, provide food. No, I do get where you're coming from, but this matter is way more complex than it seems.
I guess you're right. All this clean air went to my head. So, wait, does this mean the Colonel was in the know?
Strank does seem to suggest that. Besides, he had negotiations with Hansa. Where would we be without them after the D6 debacle? They give us weapons, recruits to replenish our losses. We, on the other hand, our competence does not stretch beyond thinking cozy thoughts and keeping the fools in the metro from killing each other off. Remember, if not us, then who?
You're too smart for your own good, idiot. Hey, Demir, I've been thinking. How far are we gonna go?
No masks needed. The railroad runs through the whole country. As far as we want, I reckon. As for Yamantau, it's about 2,000 clicks away.
No, I mean, how far can we get with the fuel we have? What's this machine's mileage?
Aha, that. Yeah, it certainly is a coal guzzler, this thing. Then again, there should be coal stores at every station. And if we don't find any, we could still burn firewood.
Why the long face, Demir?
You see, I made a mistake of stocking up on filters. Why I could have gotten a whole bunch of MREs for the same ammo, or a new hazard suit. I wish I'd known there'd be no need for them. The corporal sold them way too hard, that bastard. Get them while they last. He even gave me a book as a free extra. Quotations from Charmin Mao. Do you know this writer? Mao? Anyway, here I am like a fool with the stupid book and the filters, while we could really use that meal-grade ammo now. You never know who or what we might meet.
Что? You're not giving the book enough credit. At the very least, it contains a whole world of wisdom on fighting the war against the imperialism. Which we might encounter on the way, even though so far we just seem to be fighting our own.
Yeah, Anna's pulling no punches this time. Perhaps she shouldn't have. It's not like the Colonel understands everything. Who's in the right here?
Whoever's not wrong, obviously.
Well, who's not wrong then?
He who does nothing and says nothing too.
Give me a break. Who's in the right now?
Everybody is, brother. And nobody.
I shouldn't have asked.
I am not bothered when I'm not understood. I am bothered when I don't understand.
Somebody who's called Idiot. Idiot seems like quite the philosopher. Also, as I mentioned before, I really like the comrades you're travelling with. They're just interesting characters. And I'm only going to find more people along the way. This game's up there, man. Even if I did have all that trouble when I was first trying to get it fired up. Ooh. New note. Oh! I'm in a new chapter. I missed a note. Blast. Oh well. Head of Shield Project, Railroad Department. Zelkaziak VM. Railway State Survey Report. Having conducted a Railway State Survey as per your order, I can report that beyond the defence perimeter, the railway is in condition ranging from acceptable to good, thus presenting a security threat by providing a convenient way for the enemy to transport and supply their agents. On the other hand, within defence perimeter, the railway is worn down beyond acceptable state, which could lead to a complete halt of train movement along and most used lines in the nearest future, putting the defensibility of Moscow in grave danger by disrupting our lines and supply for reinforcement transportation. Considering aforementioned, I hereby request that all available maintenance crews are sent to work on repairing the most damaged sections of the critically important lines, using the rails and cross ties from the lines beyond the 101 kilometer mark from the centre of Moscow. Thus, at the same time, effectively denying the enemy the use of the railways leading into the city. Deputy Head of Special Survey Committee, Bondarenko TK.
It seems to me, whether it was intended or not, that our colonel now has a goal to strive for because of you. We all remember the way you fought back in D6, so no matter what lies ahead, we're with you. You can count on us. Yes. As for me, I'm running a little inventory check. It is kind of cramped in here. I'm thinking of making something of a workbench. So that's all the instruments we get, and everything else would be within arm's reach. With no workbench, you just lose small components. We'll use this place to work on the weapons. Cleaning, oiling, keep out of everybody's way, and keep them from messing with my stuff. Well, we'll have to take turns, of course, but we'll manage. So, if you find any weapons you'd like to keep, I'll store them for you here on the Aurora, and you can come back to exchange them. You'll get them back in their best shape ever. Don't you doubt. Boy, have I cleaned and oiled a lot of weapons in my life. Factory and homemade too. Some of those were just amazing. So unusual. So, if you have any weapon-related questions, I'm your man. And weapons, they are like girls. They need attention. You clean your weapon well, you oil it, and check the ammo. Because these dirty ammo caps do get rusty sometimes. But if you put your heart into it, their weapon never fails. Ah, well, I'll just finish oiling this one, then start on another.
You must be from Market. That was a station full of ammo from an ammo factory, so maybe he was at work when it all went down. Good to know. Hopefully it's a case that I can just repair my weapons whenever I find a workbench rather than I get lumped with I need X component to repair them. Then again, I'm sure I'll probably find plenty of pistols and the like across the place, so maybe I have to strip them down for components.
Well, hello there, Tom. People could have called me up there to drink to Aurora. I still think Beelzebub was a better name. By the way, did you come to trade places with me? Or did you just want some exercise?
I heard that.
Well, help yourself.
So you're going to keep talking, or...
Because frankly
There we go.
speaking, I'm a bit tired here.
Ah, there we go.
The only good thing about this job is that you forget it's winter. If only you didn't have to pay for this comfort later, with your whole body aching.
Wait. Oh, right, that's just random floating coal. For a minute there, I thought there was a plant growing in front of the furnace. In front of the firebox.
That's all? Okay, I'll take it from here.
Well, you don't need to keep shoveling constantly, you know. It's just going to end up setting off the safety valves. I did say I like steam trains, but you know... Ah, well, if that's all you've got to say, then I shall head off somewhere else. Think he's going to say anything? Oh, right, that's the sleep... Wait, are those the bunks? Are we all sleeping on the floor, then? Yes, so. Right, what's this, then? S? Diary. When it's been years since anyone's heard anything... Okay, right, so these are just the opening lines from Artyom. Stopped 100 clicks from Moscow to check our Geiger counters, that's fine. Crew... Ah, hello. Anna, my Anna. From the very beginning, I thought I was not worthy of you. What was I? A nerdy guy from a backwater station. A dreamer hearing voices in his head. An adventurer seeking and... You? The most beautiful girl in the Metro. The only daughter of the legendary Colonel Miller. The best sniper of the Spartan Order. But how did you put it? There were lots of hard-boiled guys around. God, how much have we been through together? We had our bright days and really dark ones. Our feelings would die out and rekindle again. I even tried to leave, but couldn't go too far. You wanted a normal man, but you still accepted me as I am. You were the only one who didn't consider me mad when I spent days on the freezing surface listening to the radio and fruitless attempts of receiving signals from the other survivors. You knew that every such sortie meant more radiation exposure for me and less chances for healthy children should you ever have them. And you would still let me go, and you didn't prohibit me from dreaming. I always felt your gaze on me when you would cover my back in combat, and when I would lose my way. I was always in your field of view. I always knew that nobody could ever replace you, my personal guardian angel of death. This is not love. What is? Oh, he's even drawn a little rabbit by her. Oh! His nickname from Last Light. That's clever. There we go. Miller. Colonels Svetoslav Konstantinovich Melnikov? Okay. I think I'll stick with Miller. The permanent commander of the Order of Sparta. Miller picked and trained each Spartan individually. He was the only one who could to come to the rescue of my home station when we were under attack by the Dark Ones. He was still there we go. He was the only one to stand between the communists and Nazis and prevent the conflict which would spell the ultimate end for our civilization. It was Miller who accepted me into the Order and blessed our union with Anna. Blessed our union with Anna. I think that should be my union with Anna. Anyway, his only daughter. I became his son-in-law, but could never amass the courage to call him Dad. Nothing but Colonel with a Sir, of course. In the D6 defence, the Colonel lost his best fighters and his old self. Something is forever broken in him. Something is forever broken is him. He became cold, completely intolerant of any dissonant. Sometimes I feel he's sorry he didn't object his daughter marrying me. He would probably preferred Hunter as his son-in-law, but Hunter is missing, and I dragged his daughter into a maelstrom none of us might ever emerge from. Wait, so they've never confirmed Hunter as dead? I'm wondering if he's going to appear later in the game. Demir. Demir is probably the calmest of all the crew members. He'll always be there to help. He always does the hardest part of any job, goes on the toughest missions, and then instead of taking the well-deserved respect and gratitude as one would expect, he starts blushing and saying that he had nothing to do with the success, and it all just kind of happened that way. There's only one painful issue for Demir, and that's his name. Name given to him by his father, along with half of his blood. Demir can't forgive his father for leaving, going as far as to deny being his blood kin. Duke of Darkness, Igor Dukov, the youngest and bravest and the craziest of us. Some join the Order out of desperation, others to protect people from dangers, but Duke is just desperately in love with adventure. Whenever the Colonel asks for volunteers, Duke is always first to shout, "Me!" No matter, sorry, I just got a flashback to Monty Python and the Knights Who Say Knee. Anyway, no matter how hard and dangerous the mission ahead may be. A shame we don't have any medals in the Order. Otherwise, Duke would be presented with them. He keeps looking up to the more experienced fighters. Competing? Oh, competing. Oh, blimey. That's how bad my English is. Competing with them for the most kills, missions, and wounds. For some reason, for some reason, he pays particular attention to comparing his achievements with mine. Perhaps it's because I'm the closest to his age. Anna once said about him, "Quit your whining, Artyom. There are people here who dream of becoming like you." About Duke? Was she right? Like you? Oh, right, that's what she said about him. Oh, fair enough, right. Next. Oh, blimey, lot of text. Yermak. The Aurora's permanent helmsman. Yermak knows her every detail down to the smallest bolt and feels every change in the work of any of her numerous and, truth be told, quite worn out mechanisms with his heart. Yermak fits into our group so easily and naturally. It seems he was with us since forever, and yet Anna and I met him on the Hanseatic base where on the Hanseatic base where Yermak first helped me find my wife and then led us in the hijacking of our beloved cruiser. Still, with Yermak's background, it's a small wonder he decided to leave Moscow with us. At the time of our new meeting, he had only just learned of Hansa executing everyone trying to enter or leave Moscow. But Yermak has been living with this terrible knowledge for months. First, out of fear of his daughter's life, then, after she succumbed to her illness, out of sheer hopelessness. But now he is free, just like the rest of us, and if he ever came back to Moscow, we'll settle our scores with Hellsonic leadership together. Yermak says that every man has a destination in life, a place where the fate leads him to. And whenever life becomes hard, sometimes unbearably so, I always recall his words. This might be the end of the line, but it is still not your destination. Get up, walk on. Thank you, Yermak. Oh blimey, there's more. Idiot. Idiot chose his nickname out of natural humility, or perhaps simply in honour of one of the Dostoevskian's characters. In fact, he's anything but. Being the most educated and well-read soldier in the order, landing the position of Miller's right-hand man back in the Metro, the question is, what does he really know about the reasons for people being held in the tunnels? The war that could be still going on, as well as who is really in control of the Metro. Idiot likes talking a lot, but he never actually says much, even if you push him. Save for as usual, on one hand this could be true, while on the other, if you feel that the truth is close enough to touch, talk to Idiot. He'll confuse you completely in no time. One thing about him that I don't understand at all is what could he even be looking for fighting in the Order's ranks. Oh blimey. Alyosha, the life of every party, an avid lady killer, favorite customer of the seediest joints of Savanoy Boulevard, and our survival on the surface instructor. After only a curious glance, he can correctly tell if an abandoned building can last for years or if it's ready to collapse into your head at the lightest touch, which ability saved him back in Moscow more than once. Alyosha is the only member of our crew seemingly taking our journey for an exciting adventure, probably in anticipation of new meetings with representatives of the first sex, of course. Sam is one of the Order's best. He might not be the strongest, fastest, or the best marksman we have, but he can certainly hold his own in a match with Spartan champions in each of these areas. He definitely is the most unusual of us. Sam is an American, a Marine from the U.S. Embassy Guard detail, who just happened to be in the Metro when the Judgment Day came, eventually ending up as Colonel Miller's personal bodyguard. Sam had to sit the battle for D6 out on the account of staying in the hospital with a serious wound, and was really hard on himself for not being there to protect the Colonel when he was needed the most. As soon as he was back on his feet, Still, all bandaged, Sam would still refuse to leave the Colonel's side no matter what he could. He wouldn't even let anyone else push Miller's wheelchair, even when Andrew the blacksmith made the amazing prosthetics that... Oh, that's where he got the prosthetics. Oh, it's nice to see Andrew was still helping out then. Andrew the blacksmith made the amazing prosthetics the Colonel has been wearing ever since. Sam remains Miller's shadow, and of course, joined us aboard the Aurora. all of us, the crew members, are going somewhere to some kind of destination. As Yermak puts it, even though none of us know where that destination would be. Sam, though, seems to know the place. If the world outside of the metro is not wiped out, there must be survivors in the US, and Sam can't stop thinking about his parents, who might still be alive, waiting for their son. I wonder if he feels he's travelling in the right direction with us. Okay, 2 more. Stefan. In day-to-day life, Stefan is so calm and nice. It's hard to believe he is a member of the Order. We are a military organisation after all. Once you see this giant in battle though, you immediately see the reason for him being here. Stefan is completely fearless and amazingly strong. He handles a heavy machine gun as if it were a regular assault rifle. We're lucky to be on Stefan's side. Having him as an enemy would be a disaster. Tokarev, partial to the creations, the famous gun designer he shares the family name with, is a man in love with his craft. He is constantly busy with the crew's weapons, maintaining them, and making improvements. Tokarev also knows everything there is to know about weapons, and even more, and can talk about them for hours, but is not really interested in much else. Still, he doesn't just care for our firepower, but also works on our gear, constantly adjusting and inventing new things, labouring day and night to make sure we all perform to the best of our ability without being hindered by the inferior equipment. What do we do about it? On a side note, he seems to be quietly and hopelessly, unacquaintedly in love with my Anna. He's always worried about her, thinking of her, talking about her, but I can't even bring myself to feel jealous. There we go. Oh, bloody hell. Exhibition? Exhibition, my home station, now a part of the something Commonwealth, together with Alexstraviatska and Rizaviaka. Living there has been an uneven ride, but I still have fond memories of the time. Even though Anna, my wife, would disagree, she positively hated it there, having traded the position of the Order's best sniper for everyday chores of a regular mushroom farmer. Oh, is that where we started the game? We started an exhibition. Why didn't we see our stepfather? Anza, the most powerful faction of the Metro, the Commonwealth of Stations, the Ring Line. Soldiers in the hands of employ enjoy the best pay, equipment, and thus they are highly motivated to train and perform their duties exceptionally well. Making up for proficiency and skill for what they may lack in numbers, the only force to be objectively better than the Hanseatic troops in terms of professionalism and training is the Spartan Order, which yours truly is honoured to be a member of. As far as I'm able to summarise from the Colonel's reluctant confession, Hansa is the vehicle of the Invisible Watchers, the real government of Moscow, controlling all of the factions from the shadows. They clearly have too much power to just live and let live, and thus emerge in some shady business, including the SHIELD project, designed to keep Moscow under the impenetrable blanket of radio jamming to prevent further nuclear strikes against the capital. The project itself would be a benevolent initiative, even if quite misguided. Had it not been for connecting with the mass murder of people coming into or trying to leave Moscow, as well as anyone and everyone learning anything about it. Anna and I were captured by their patrol after we saw the Aurora entering the city perimeter, and just for that terrible crime I was put to the gun. Anna's agony at that moment is something I will never forgive them for, as long as I live. Creatures, watchmen, demons, Dog? Normal dog. The common dog seems to be right. That's fine. Equipment, gas mask, breacher. Oh, bracer. Bracer rules Spartans wear for the moment the piece of the armor is. What's this? Bracers all Spartans wear are not an important piece of armor, but still routinely save our lives. They are used to mount such vital processes of equipment as Geiger counters, Geiger counters. That's warning of us upon dangerous radiation hotspots, and watches necessary for keeping track of gas mask filter usage. The watch is combined with another gadget that, despite its tiny size, is also vitally important. The light indicator. Many a time, its blue light hinted me to find a better shaded hiding spot to remain stealthily. Brr. Okay. Lighter. This piece of trench art I got from Sukhoi has been with me throughout a lot, but its value is far from just sentimental. I always rely on it whenever I need to start a campfire, find my way out of a dark tunnel by following the faintest draft, or the dark tunnel following. I never knew I could use it to follow it out of a tunnel. Oh, well, there we go. Go through a Spiderberg layer and want to get rid of the cobwebs, or simply need to backup light source, and it never fails. Oh, fair enough. Weapons, blah blah blah. Oh, blah blah da 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 da. Throwing knives, cans, revolver, shotgun stuff. Fine, marvelous. That's done. Radio. Oh. Oh. Bollocks, I've lost it now. Ah. How do I leave the radio? Oh, there we go. No, I don't want to go back on the radio. Look it off. There we go. Right, so I've read that. What's that? Okay. Radio, so just stand up now then.
Still holding on to life. I'm done for, my friend. But at least I died protecting my friends. Shut up, you fool. By the way, Uncle Sam, your command of Russian is quite good. Another 40 years or so, and you'd go completely native. Isn't it confusing now, though? If your California is still around, you became a Russian for nothing. By the way, if we meet the occupying forces, whose side will you be on, Sam? Ours or theirs?
Not funny. But if the war is still not over, does that make us enemies?
Nah, that's not what I meant. The colonel told me to stop smoking shroom, but isn't a pipe of peace an exception, eh?
I wish we could smoke one in California, my man. That would be so much fun.
Oh, damn. Hey, do you miss home?
I don't know. Really, I got used to it. And now I learned my folks might be alive, and
meant was, even though you're an American, you're our man.
I'm Spartan, Alyosha. Now and forever. You're a Spartan too. This is what we are now. I wonder what they'd think of me at this Supreme HQ, though.
Drop it. We'll all stand with you, like with Anna and Artyom, like when the Colonel protected you from that crowd.
Yeah. There were women and old guys and kids. They all wanted it. I didn't want to resist. Even though I was younger and stronger back then. So, the war was really on back then. Your missiles have only just fallen on us, just like ours on you. So forget that shit with the HQ. You're a Spartan, one of us. That's it. Thank you, Colonel. Sir. So, we're going everywhere else. I'd love to see San Diego, though. Even in a dream.
There's this
Little whorehouse on its red Neuburger station I'd like to see.
even if it was just in a dream. Look, I'll catch some shut-eye if you don't mind.
Of course. Get some sleep.
Yeah. Besides, in a dream, it's definitely cheaper.
Is it just me, or does he sound like David Hayter? Hayter? Sounds like Snake, or it could just be my imagination. Right, let's finally check the map. You can resume the journey or continue exploring the train. Oh, I think I might oh, wrong one. Oh, I might explore the train a bit more. I think that's everything, though. There's not much more I can do, really. He's shoveling, he's fiddling around with the gun. Can't go out that door because he's sleeping. What if I go out this door? Anyone out here? Oh, I can't get up there. Right, might as well resume the journey then. Eat.
After all those years in the underground, the air of the surface seemed incredibly fresh, intoxicating. But that was not what had caused the crew's euphoria. Our journey finally got a definite purpose provided by the transmission from the government bunker in the Urals. For 20 years, we thought that neither the government nor military high command had survived. Turns out they're still around. Where were they while we were eating each other alive in the metro? We'll have a lot of questions for them once we reach Yamantau, if we reach it. The ruins of our country are under enemy control, according to Miller, and we'll have to fight through to our goal. A small team against the occupation armies? What are the chances that we'll succeed? That we'll get some answers?
I'd like to raise one point here, though, that we don't know if this bunker actually exists. We heard a recording, but it could have just been a recording. That's it. It's just doesn't mean anything that's a live broadcast. In fact, it may very well have just been some recording from 20 years ago, and we'll get there and there's nothing. I suppose there's only one way to find out.
Froze anything off yet, darling? Here, let's warm you up a little bit. So, what do you think our chances of getting to Yamantau alive are? It's the only thing on my father's mind. How to earn his forgiveness, get back to Metro and his old life. The life you had always been running from. And to think, I never believed you. And now I'm looking at this fog, thinking it could actually be hiding our new life from us. By the way, we should be approaching the bridge soon. Damn it! A campfire! People! There are people there! Hit the brakes!
Oh dear. Oh! Oops. Oh. Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Shots fired. 4 bogies on a trolley.
All hands, report to the bridge, on the double.
We may have just obliterated their barricade.
You should probably get to the bridge.
Okay. Ooh. Steam valve.
Are you alright, Artyom?
Yep. Thank you, dear. Oh.
Can we move? No, we're stuck.
Ah, great.
Damn fog. Seems we ran through someone's roadblock.
Who was it? Any uniforms?
None. They were wearing rags.
Just some old farts.
Old farts, huh? That's just the perimeter guard. They could have put anyone there, even women and children.
Do you really think we found them, Colonel?
Well, we can't be sure. I was expecting to run into them much earlier. The trolley is headed towards the bridge. Some fortifications there. This looks peaceful. A village and a church on the water. We need intel. Here, Artyom. I put a mark on your map. Get there and find out what you can about that bridge. Taking a prisoner would be ideal. Anna, you cover him.
Yes, sir.
May I go with Artyom too? As backup?
No. Until we figure out our situation, you are not to take a step away from the Aurora. These two can handle
Let's
themselves
go,
just
Artyom.
fine. Yermak, when can you get the Aurora running again?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna check on that cylinder, but a full day at least.
I see. Get to it then.
Interesting.
Spartans, let's prepare the Aurora for a defensive action. Stepan, Damir, get the perimeter.
Yes, sir.
Duke, I need you to recon the immediate area.
Got that, sir.
Idiot, you give him cover from the Aurora.
Yes, sir.
Sam and Alyosha, stay in reserve.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Wow. This is what I was missing from the other Metro games. This!
Am I not trustworthy anymore?
I'd tell you if it was the case, Sam. Now, cut the chatter.
The camaraderie of it. It's just... The characters, I have company, I have friends. I'm not alone anymore, and it's so, so glorious. I'm so happy. Unfortunately, we're going to have to carry this on later.